What a pain in the ass today is. I had a kid bust 16 different things today, and I'm just trying to get this damn hay baled. I was going to use the 4230, but you know what? Everybody is asking about this damn thing. So, here it is. And the sun's going down, and he likes to use that silly ass thing. So one thing over in International, the John Deere has that live PTO, and International just didn't have it. In my opinion, John Deere was miles ahead of the International for a very long time. They didn't sell near as many John Deeres as they did Internationals, but the quality of the John Deere was head and shoulders above the International. The problem is our hay rake is set up to run for big square balers, not little square balers. And my boys just don't understand the difference in wide pickups versus narrow ones. So there's going to be things left behind. I don't much care. I'm only doing idiot blocks for one guy. That's it. Anything more than that, to hell with it. I just don't give a shit no more. And I'm hoping that, oh yeah, they're actually pretty decent bales too. I'll make him pick up the snips with it. I don't know why he's going so god-awful slow. I'm gonna have to yell at him. Pick it up. Second gear, come on. I gotta tell him how to drive this thing. It's like he wants to take forever. The sun's going down. What happens when the sun goes down? If you don't make hay, I mean, if you're making mulch hay, it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. You actually get paid a little more for it because it's heavier. But if you're making idiot blocks, I'll have to pick that up. Ooh, he ain't ever gonna break that bit. But if you're making idiot bricks, you have to bale it before the sun goes down because the dew sets on and then it gets hard. It gets wet and the bales get very, very heavy, and then they don't keep when you get to a certain size, a certain amount. Now, I'll just shut up now. You can listen to her sing. I think you should be running it a little faster. It's just me though. There's not much here. I mean, if I can get 50 bales out of this, I'll be pretty happy. It's not very high quality stuff because it came out of the drought. And then I have to zoom out on that. And I'm going to take a look here at this lovely bale. That's here. This lovely bale. That's here. Everybody loves those two-cylinder tractors. They're great. I love them. I love them too. I think they're great. But when the profit margins, I'm probably going to make more money with that old setup right there. With that old two-cylinder John Deere cranking away at like freaking 950 RPM, baling hay. That little tractor will run for a week on 15 gallons of diesel fuel. And I could bale for a week. I swear to God, I could bale for a week with that thing. What the hell is he doing? Anyway, let's get to this bale here, and I can tell you whether it's dry or not just by picking it up. Yeah, she's fine. We'll pick it up and throw it over here. He's a slob when it comes to baling. See, well, it's not his fault. These windrows are quite large and wide because, like I said, they're set up for the big square balers to make nice wide. Now what the hell? What is he doing? I have no idea what he's doing. What did he do? Looks like he's got the thrower plugged up. And he does. He's got the thrower plugged up. Why did he do that? See, he slowed it down at the same time. He slowed it down and wedged a bale in there. And then instead of, and he'll get wrapped up in that power takeoff shaft because he's not being too brilliant about it. Ah, the belt popped off. Wonderful. Okay. This, ladies and gentlemen, is why I absolutely hate idiot blocks. I hate them. They're just so much more work than just climbing in the... Why in the hell does he care about that belt being popped off? What's he got going on here? He's got a broken string. Did you hear that noise? Yeah, that was my... knee getting up against. Kind of heavy. There you go. He's dancing and bouncing. Holy shit. Bunched up underneath. Did you see that crack? Did you see that crack? There you go. So far we've only had one string miss, and that was probably because of lubricant. So I'm kind of going to do a knotter series, I think. These knotters on these balers, a lot of people have a lot of knotter problems, and it's because they're over greasing their knotters. They'll go in there and they'll squirt grease into that knotter, and it'll just be squeezing out all over the place, right? What'd I do, jinx myself? No. That grease will be squeezing out all over the place. Well, all over the place is getting on your twine, and then the knots start to slip, and you have problems, phantom knotter problems. You're like, what the fuck, this string is junk, I don't know what to do with it. I'm going to change baling twine, and then you do it again with a different type of baling twine. And, then it starts wrapping the bill hook because you're tightening shit, moving stuff around, doing things you really should know better than to not do. You shouldn't do them. You know better, but you're doing them anyway, right? Ugh. I got a thistle in my finger. Ugh. So yeah, when you're doing crap you shouldn't do, and you just make the things worse and worse and worse. Now there's one thing that I learned over the years, and it's pretty simple. Small adjustments, small mistakes. You make big adjustments, you make big mistakes. I hope he's not going to try and get that ditch. That's just ditch. And quite honestly, I bet Teresa $100, and I'm gonna owe her, that they would rake that hay right into the middle of that ditch. Unfortunately for me, I lost. Fortunately, they're smarter than I thought they were. Woo! There she comes. So yeah. Yeah, there's bumps over there. You can see how wide that windrow is. We widen them out like that so that the big baler, you don't have to swerve so much and they don't bunch it up in the back of the hay rake. But when you do little bales, you're supposed to narrow it up, one pin on either side, so that the windrow's nice and tight. The plus side to that problem that he's created for us here is that it'll dry out easier and stay dried out longer, and that bale's just going to jump now. Here it goes. All he needs is a tiny, there she goes. It's actually baling pretty darn good, I gotta say. I hope this camera's keeping it. I'm just going to drag this over to him and unload it. I'm hoping I get enough in there. I'm going to have to bale a bunch more. We are going to bale a bunch of more. But right now we have to just get enough for him for a month or two, and I'm going to start baling second cut here after this rainstorm goes through. We're supposed to have some decent dry weather, and I'm going to go ahead and mow a river valley, I know, and it's quite a ways away. We're not going to use the 2-cylinder to do that. It's just too damn far to go. Even though if I told Tim, take that old tractor down there and bale that hay, he'd do it. He would do it. It would just be like, take all day to get it down there. And it could be 190 degrees outside. We could have nuclear fallout. And the only thing that would protect you from nuclear fallout is a John Deere cab. He would take that 720 and go bale with it. I don't know why he loves that thing so damn much. But money-wise, it is probably the most efficient tractor you're ever going to put on a little baler. Speed-wise, it's not. It definitely 100% needs an actual muffler because that thing sucks. It's just a straight pipe. It's just a straight pipe. That's all that is. Huh. You see how I'm up here? I'm getting too old to do this stuff, but not really. I enjoy it. I actually enjoy this part of life. I like making idiot blocks, don't get me wrong. What I don't like is the people that I would have to sell them to. And that's just the God's honest truth right there. The people that I would sell these bales to, I would absolutely love to strangle the shit out of them because they don't know what. Well, the mushroom barns are getting that way a little bit now too, but I would love to strangle the shit out of a couple of them. People I've known for a long time, and they still fuck you. Doesn't matter. There's no loyalty in agriculture, just so you know. You don't have loyal friends unless they're 1,000 miles away from you. That's true. That's the truth. You cannot have loyal friends within 50 miles of you, because if they see something that you're doing, they will go hell over high water to go and do something to fuck you up. And people you know all your life, they'll just say, you know what their excuse is? Just business, man. Don't take it personal. You know what? I've never been that way. But I've been screwed by people like that. That's why my friends list is all full small. Like my wife. That's my friend. My best friend is my wife. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. I do have some friends. I really do. I have some good friends. But they're 1,000 miles or more away from me, or they're not in the same business. And I'm going to film Tim filming me while he fucks up and busts something. That's what he's going to do. You watch. I bought this baler in 2002 on my birthday, July 5th, 2002. Paid $16,200 for it. Really haven't put a whole hell of a lot into it. Just a couple of knives, a couple of belts, some welding on the thrower, New needles, new knotter frames when an idiot runs it. Like I had a guy who went out there and tightened it down. He says, oh yeah, this'll bail that. Fucking tightened it down, broke the shear pin, broke both needles off, broke both knotter frames. What? He knows who he is, and he probably still watches my videos. But yeah. But anyway, isn't that just the way it goes sometimes? So I'm just gonna go ahead and stop here, and you can listen to that thing. That thing leaves such a racket. Such a freaking racket. What's he doing? Oh. He's gonna go pick up snips. Which is good. He can go faster. I have so many stories that I can tell about baling little bales with my grandmother, my dad, my Uncle Irv. Not so much my grandfather. I do have a story about my grandfather. I was young. He died when I was 9. And we were putting hay in the old barn, what we call the old barn. And the old barn holds about 4,500 bales. The new barn holds 7,000. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,000 bales you can put up there. And we used to fill both barns, 11,000 little bales. We'd fill them both up. Great, excellent, awesome, right? Well, my grandfather in 1977 had a massive heart attack where half of his heart just didn't work, and maybe it was a third of his heart. A third of his heart was dead, and he was not allowed to do anything. And he had a very strict diet. He wasn't allowed to eat garbage food, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, which was something that, to be quite honest with you, we never did when I was a kid. Never did it. I remember on my right hand how many times I went to a McDonald's, and it was less than 5. And of those 5 times, it was never with my parents. It was with the wrestling club or something like that. But anyways, I'm leading up to what happened to my grandfather. So he has his massive heart attack. He's in the intensive care unit for 21 days. And they told him, you can't lift any more than 5 pounds for the rest of your life. You can stress your heart and die. So we're filling the barn over there, the dairy barn. And my grandfather come out of the house. He wanted to work. He always worked really hard when he was able to. He wanted to work. And looking back on it, you can't blame him, because he wanted to work and he wanted to get out there and do what he always did, which was work himself, breaking himself in half to work. He worked at the paper mill on swing shift, came home and farmed, whether he was planting, milking, or whatever. And then he would sleep for a few hours, then go to work at the paper mill until he had his heart attack in 77. Never got a pension, worked there for 21 years, and, oh, there goes a bale. 21 years, never got a pension out of it because they just didn't give him a pension because he had the heart attack. Anyway, he was unloading hay there. My dad came out of the milk house and yelled at him. I remember that was quite dramatic. My dad yelled at him, "Get the hell off of that hay wagon." My sister was unloading, and she wasn't going quite fast enough. And by her not going fast enough, that's why my grandfather got up there. And my dad went in the milk house and got a bucket of water and threw it on him. And it just stuck with me, like, holy shit. I never saw my dad do that to my grandfather. And I always thought that it was mean and nasty, but my dad did it out of love. And I can say it was out of love because he didn't want my grandfather to have another massive heart attack and die right there on the hay wagon because he wanted to help unload hay. You know, yeah, bail it. So he threw that water on him, and it got my grandfather really upset. And whatever, you know. My grandfather lived for 3 more years until finally he did actually have that final heart attack on December 29th, 1981. That was when he died. He died in the house on the steps coming down for breakfast. My grandfather and my father were milking cows, I was at the house over here, just a little kid, 9 years old, and it was a rather dramatic thing for me because Grammy went in the house, Dad came home for breakfast. The phone rang as my dad came through the back door, because he used to come in the back door to the mud room at the back of the house, and he would wash up, take his boots off, and you know, any of his clothes, and hang them up there. And the phone rang. My mom answered it. I was in the living room. It was Christmas, so I was playing with some toys that I had gotten for Christmas. And yeah, phone rang. I went in the kitchen. My dad came, or the dining room where the phone hung on the wall. And my mom said, "Bill, that's your mother. She thinks that your dad is dead." He turned around, and that old 78 Ford pickup truck flew out the driveway about as fast as I ever seen my dad drive, and he didn't come back. The neighbor down the road was a state trooper, Mr. Jack Irving J. McConnell, state trooper. We were friends. Came up and did CPR on my grandfather for a very long time. I wasn't there for that. We had a local doctor, Dr. King, Lawrence King. He was my childhood doctor. I don't know if he's even alive anymore, but he retired a few years back. But he came up and pronounced my grandfather dead and signed the paperwork saying that he died of a heart attack, avoiding an autopsy. My grandfather didn't want to be cut apart like a pig, you know, when he died. So they avoided the autopsy because Dr. King signed the paperwork and pronouncing him dead, and that it wasn't necessary, that he had an ongoing heart condition, and that's what had happened. And that was in 1981. So I got a lot of memories here on this farm. Like, this is home. You know, this is home. No matter where I go in the world, I'll never leave home. Even if I leave home, I always come back. And my dad said something the other day. He said, you know, he thinks that I'm going to move to the Philippines. And it kind of took me back. I'm never going to move to the Philippines. It's not a place that I'm going to go live. It's a place that I enjoy to go visit because it's so far away from home that I'm returning home. If I go any farther, I'll be returning home. It's on the other side of the world. My wife is from the Philippines. We have a place in the Philippines. But I can assure you, and I can guarantee you, that I will never hang my hat in that country. I am an American. I love the Philippines. I think it's great. I love my country more. And I was born here. I will die here. I will be buried here. And that's just the way that's going to be. So here comes my nephew, running like a son of a bitch. Anyway, so that's the story. I'm not moving to the Philippines ever in my life. I might like to go stay there for a month or two when I get older, but I think that I'll go nuts. Woo, that's a heavy bale. You busting shit up again.
Yes.
It's like the third thing today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Two of them are the same, just opposite sides.
I guess those hoses must be shot, that's all.
My thought is the first one blew. I may have cut the second one because they were in the same fire hose rack.
Oh, yeah, coulda. That pressure's tough. So, anyway, this wagon's got to get drug over to Larry's. Are you taking a hose off? You don't have to worry about that today. You can do it in the morning. Because we're not going to bale until tomorrow. I got to do some work to my baler yet. Okay. And but this wagon's got to get drug over to Larry's and unloaded into his building. Okay. I don't know why he's doing that outside round. It's starting to get heavy. It'll be okay, but they're starting to get heavy. Yeah, see? They're barely chucking it. I don't have any electronics hooked up to the old tractor because the battery I don't even think is in there. We pull started it, and I forgot how to run it. Yeah, so I kind of almost ran into him.
Yeah, Tim said what happened with us or with the...
Yeah, but this is a little more difficult than pushing on a clutch. You got to pull a lever in.
But the clutch seized. It didn't release.
Oh, yeah.
It chased us down.
I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway. Yeah. That's about as much as I thought we were going to get, to be honest with you. I'm going to have him put that in a building out there because I don't want to.
All that's left on the airstrip place is that rough ass field in the back.
Yep.
And the little one right up front. The one on the left side.
Alright, well, tomorrow morning you're going to have to, like the minute the dew comes off, you're going to be raking because me and Teresa are going to be baling. Both of them will sling it right off and he'll be stacking.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to stack it to cover it because I don't think I need to bring that home right away.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of shit down there. I'm going to have Dad come down. We're going to have to pull strings off. So, it's just one of those things. Baling in the 1950s. Worry about it. Nah, he's done. He's done. He's not going to bail this. We'll bail this. It's all shit. It cost me $100. You know how?
No.
I bet Teresa $100 you were going to rake that shit right in the middle of that ditch.
Oh.
I said, you know, I'm mowing it.
Like that.
I said, yeah, I know how it was mowed because I mowed it. I said, I bet you $100 that they raked that right down the middle. She said, I'm not going to take that bet, but I will because they might not. It's a 50-50 chance. So
now I thought about raking it over right into the ditch.
yeah, that's exactly what I expected you to do.
Yeah, no.
Thank you. I didn't need that aggravation, but it would have got me $100, you motherfucker. Because you know, the last time I bet her $100, I paid her. It was that she could catch a. You weren't there for that. Catching dragonflies.
Oh, that's a rough one to do.
She catches them like they're nothing. Filipinos can catch shit that you wouldn't even think. If they were edible, she would eat them.
Is that like my mom where there's a 4-leaf clover?
7 miles away, she'll smell it and go get it. Yeah, that's right. Now she walks up, she gets up, and if it's landed there, she just moves really, really, really slow and then just picks them like that. Picks them right up. I lost that bet. That was $100. She bought pizza with it, and we all ate it, but we were down in North Carolina. I think she bought pizza. Might have been Kentucky Fried Chicken, I don't know, or something like that. We ate with it, but well, I paid her. She says it's your money anyway, you know, but I'm glad we got this done. We only had one faux pas. We had a belt jump off. So. You good, or you want to do more? We need a muffler. That fucker's loud. Anyway, swing it. I made that hitch pin back in 2002. No, I made this hitch pin in the 90s. It came off the other.
Yeah, I see it.
Came off the other baler. Yep, back in the 90s. That's made out of a shock absorber out of a 1986 F-150. That's what it is. They're tougher than hell. You make hitch pins, make it out of shock absorbers. I even drilled the hole, right? That hole took a lot. What? Oh, okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed the sights in this.